All right, hello, hello, hello. This is your Trading Crypto channel coming at you. It's June 16th, 2022. Yeah, quick little update. So we did have our crash yesterday, over the last couple days, blah, blah, blah. It's been rough. Stocks crashed even harder today, making new lows. I think they're gunning for that 200-week moving average. So there's probably more pain ahead. It's probably just going to be bouncing up and down as slowly going down for the next month, if I had to say. Waiting for the next Federal Reserve meeting. Maybe they do a zero point 0.5 or 0.25 rate cut, and that will prove to everybody there's a bottom, assuming that inflation has calmed down. We will see about all of that. Either way, they're probably going to come out with the numbers, and they'll say that there's a recession, even though we've already been in a recession for the last couple of years, probably. And it's kind of more of a phantom recession, in my opinion. I was thinking about this today. It's like, well, most recessions, there's usually a lack of jobs. There's usually a lack of productivity. In this case, we probably have an overabundance of jobs, and there's too many vacancies to fill in most categories, and as well as it just seems like it's just inverse. It's like a weird, it's a weird kind of situation. But we need more products, and I see that. And GDP, I think, has gone down in certain ways, but in some other ways, digitally and media-wise, the whole economy is just flipping. Everything's very different. But we'll see more about all that. I'm just kind of talking right there. But yeah, I was talking about yesterday that we had this wedge and we broke out of it. And I was saying last night, so this is one thing I've been right about. I was saying last night, the 4 hour was overextended. We got rejected, and more than likely we would hopefully, find a balancing support on this line. So if we actually do bounce off of this line, that will be very bullish, at least in the short term. If we break down below it and break down these, that would be very bad. We're going down, minimally 19, but probably 17, 18K. I don't think there's going to be that much more blood. We're close to a bottom, but who knows where it'll be. But say bullishly, we've seen enough blood. We've seen 2 days of 7 on the fear and greed index. All the major indicators are maxed out on their fear. So we'll see. But if we do bounce right here, probably come up, and that would create a W formation, which would be bullish, and maybe we would come up, and it would probably be a price target. So this from here to here, it's about 2,000. Yeah, we would come up to probably 24, 25,000. It could be more bullish than that. I'd probably come up to this, close to this all-time high. It could be a very aggressive push up to 26K or so. That doesn't mean that the whole bottom was found. It's possible that we hit that and then fall back down and go down one more low. But we are ready for a relief rally. Just for me, I'd rather we just go ahead. If we're gonna come on down, I'd rather it just happen. Tomorrow's Friday. Maybe it'll be another Black Friday or something. Today, I was actually thinking that maybe it would just happen today, but maybe we have another week of pain or whatever. The 0.75 rate hike, initially there was a buy. The stocks didn't care, but people processed it, and I think people are still worried about everything that's going on. So that's just the quick synopsis I have. More than likely, Bitcoin dominance will rise probably to 50%, maybe 60% during this whole thing. I am noticing that there's a lot of talk about, depression, market crash this, crash that. It's like, well, we've been crashing, but some people are thinking that the market's going to crash another 20 or 30%. So, we'll see about all that. I don't really think much one way or another, but apparently the debt market is being bought back by, I don't know if it's the Fed or whoever, the government's buying back the debt. So they are propping this up. I think with one hand, they're raising interest rates. I think they're mainly trying to stop housing prices from going up too much more. They want to relieve that pressure, but what they really should do is just tell people like BlackRock and other international investors to leave America alone, and only Americans could buy. But it makes absolutely no sense because they really don't care, or the bureaucracy is just ridiculous. But that would be the right thing. That, and also they should just go ahead and drill some oil. That's a part for me. That would be the healthy thing for the American economy right now. Temporarily, just drill. But no, they're they're evil. And sure, they're evil. Um, but whatever. So um, yeah, I'd just be, what I'm doing. I'm just stacking Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, best I can. It's the only thing I can do. I think all these other coins, they're just heavily a lot of risk. I mean, some of them are holding up pretty well, like my ADA and my Link and a few others. But it's just no way of knowing when this is going to end, and it could be a while. I'm thinking if I had to make a prediction, I think probably end of this year we might see the 30K, 40K. Maybe we have an end of year rally. If we can hurry up and just finish this correction, well, this bear market, honestly, I mean, it really kind of depends on how aggressive of a buyback we get. We're sitting well below the 200-week moving average right now, and if we don't close above, where is it at? It's at 22,300. If we don't close above that, it's going to be rather concerning, right? Now it's possible close above it, then we go down for one more wick, like we did in the 2020 capitulation of the, I don't know what to call it, the COVID, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to talk about it because apparently it gets censored every time you talk about it. But during that dip, so this is just hard for me to really take a stance on everything. We just need to close above that 200 week, and if we don't, if we start rolling over even further down, that's going to be a first for Bitcoin. But also the double peak is a first, and there's been a lot of firsts, and it's just it's all rather concerning. So we will see. I mean, we're extremely oversold. We're back at 25. Wait, 25 right now. 25, 26 on the RSI. That's an all-time low. So I don't know how it's going to happen, but we need to get a bounce, and more than likely. So what is interesting is that gold bounced today with everything else. I think the change is happening now. What will happen? What happened before? I believe during that dump in 2020, the March dump, everything crashed, and then gold rallied. Gold rallied first, and then Bitcoin. So maybe they both rally right after this. People are gonna, the millennial generation, people like me are probably gonna be like, oh well, gold's kind of dumb. Let's go ahead and put our stuff into Bitcoin during these times of craziness. So we'll see. It's just, a lot of fear in the market. It's not ending. You walk around the street and people are talking about how bad it is, and that's how you know it's pretty bad. And the last time I remember that happening was either the pandemic dump, but that was a quick thing, but also 2008. And that was a long, drawn out, very hard time finding work and finding good money, and the struggle was real. But they say these things happen every 20 years, but it hasn't quite been 20 years yet. We're not quite there yet. So I just, wasn't the pandemic enough? I can't help but think about all this, and this is all related to that. The pandemic happened, and they're like, oh no, we gotta give people free money, and that kind of like, it gave them an excuse to crash the markets almost. Put a bunch of money in everyone's pockets and then crash the market. I mean, we're now back at the same levels as we were pretty much at that top, at the previous top before the pandemic. We're close. We're very close. We can look at that. Look at the Dow Jones real quick. 20,700 right now on Bitcoin. I would not be surprised if we have a quick wick tonight. It's looking very dumpy, and the 4-hour has room to go down. So the 4-hour would be reset if we went down. I bet we hit 19, something like that. I think like going into the teens for a brief moment, I think would scare people enough. It would scare people enough. hopefully we don't go much further than 19. That would be kind of sad. Um, for me, like I really believe in these assets. I believe in blockchain technology. I believe in decentralized finance, making yourself the bank. Taking the power back to the people, so to speak. So this big dump is really, it's kind of shaking my faith a bit. And these companies, some of these companies are going under, and some of these companies I'm affiliated with or was affiliated with in some retrospect. I had some Luna before it crashed, and I bought it last year, made some money, and sold it. I didn't have any when it did crash. I took it, I bought at the bottom just to see what would happen. But it's, that money is lost 80% even from that bottom. It's pretty amazing. It's like paying me the amount of. What's interesting is I think I have like 200,000 Luna tokens. And it's or 300,000. Maybe I have 500,000 Luna tokens. It's paying me like 20,000 tokens a month, and that would be like equivalent to 2 million of interest a month in Voyager. If it had, it's just interesting, very interesting. I thought that I clicked on this. Maybe I did not. I didn't. Ooh, we're getting very close to that 200-week moving average. I did not see that. Ooh, that actually makes me kind of happy. Did we actually touch it? Ooh. Oh. That is interesting. We're already here. I bet tomorrow, maybe we just maybe we just wick down to that. Just get it over with. Maybe this is it, But like, if we come down, God, if we come down further though, it'd be bad. But I think by then, even if we have a wick or something down here, the Fed will be blamed so hard for causing it. They're going to have to relieve their pressure in the interest rate hikes. And I think by then also the inflation rates will be put under control. So very interesting times. Let's take a look at, we want to look at the Dixie, the dollar. Someone was saying there was a divergence. This is the US dollar. Ooh, also interesting. Maybe the dollar is going to make a double top. I like the way that looks. That is very cool. That is very cool, actually. That's on the weekly. Wow. So it went to 105. That's what I like about that. If this week ends like that, we still have another day of trading. But that like a wick like that, it's called a gravestone doji. Obviously it looks like a gravestone kind of. But yeah, that could be it. A double top on the U.S. dollar, and then we come on back down to its 200-week moving average eventually. But that would give crypto the run that we need. Oh, very interesting. I didn't see that, so that's something to think about. Let's see if I can get the. Let's see. Let's go look at the Nasdaq if I can find it. I think I was down here. I think it looks at SP 500. They say that the Bitcoin's holding on US 500. Why is it on the line chart? Here we go. Candles. I don't know why it's. We still have ways to run on the S&P to go down to the 200 week. Is it SPY? We have a little ways to go. Let's find that Nasdaq again. QQQ. That's a tech. I believe that's a tech ETF. That's interesting. So we're getting close to a bottom. I mean, yeah. So Invesco is a Nasdaq tech ETF. QQQ. Yeah. So that's interesting. Now let's find that Nasdaq. This has been the Fed's plan all along. Crash the markets to the 200-week moving average. I just wonder what kind of technology they have to run those simulators. I mean, I've heard that they ran simulators to see what would happen during the pandemic. That's just, I don't know, what are we, mice? Are we like rats in a cage? I think Smashing Pumpkins said it best. There it is. Damn it. Come on now. Come on. No. Well, we can look at silver while it's there. 200. It's at $20. Holding steady. Interesting. Interesting. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Nasdaq is very close to its. Oh, look at that. Yeah. That's about what I had for the correction. So, all right. So we're close to an end here. Bitcoin will probably go into the 19K. I think we're gonna have one more push down on everything, reset everything, and then we're back at it. It's just gonna be the rest of the year kind of rough. I think that's just how it is. And then the initial buying will be the institutions. The big players are gonna start piling money into the good projects, the good companies, etc. And eventually retail come back once the gas prices get under control, which could be end of year. Who knows? Maybe Putin pulls out, all of a sudden, something like that. That actually gives me a little bit more. That actually makes me kind of happy. Like I'm seeing an end in sight here, without a doubt. But wow, this has been rough. Very rough. Well, yeah. Anyway, I think that's really all I really want to talk about. I mean, I think silver and gold and Bitcoin are going to be the commodities right now are going to be the safer play until we get a bounce. We first need to get confirmed bounce off these 200-week moving averages, but the Fed is controlling that, so they're gonna pull the pressure off once probably unemployment data is going to come out, and then once everyone's talking about recession's happening. By the time everyone realizes recession's happening, it's going to be over probably by the end of this year, and then more than likely everything's going to flip. It's going to become a little bit more grounded and not so insane, and they'll all be at a deadlock. Hopefully, they won't be able to pass any crazy legislation, and maybe we'll see the golden days again when everything sort of didn't suck so much. So, fingers crossed. So this is it. That's it for me today. Just be ready for a wig. What I would be doing, having fingers on the trigger to get good prices. But regardless, right now we're at a bottom of some kind. So, all right, that's. Oh yeah, one more thing. Now this is off the Crown. Oh, let's see. Okay. If this even happens, here we go. Yeah, this is Eric Crown Crypto, Crown Trading. This is an application that he lets you kind of have it for free, but it's the better, I guess the better data you have to pay for, but you can get a basic idea of what's going on. And this is the leverage rate. This is how many people are longing and shorting and whatnot. And we have had a reset on the trading back to the same levels pretty much as the summer lows of last year, and that kind of a mini bear market then. And this isn't updates. This is 2 days old, and this, before the big crash, so it's probably completely reset, and it's at a good point. So like everything to me is pointing at a bottom, very close to it or at. Great time to buy. Great time to dollar cost average in. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it for me. Have a good one. Catch you tomorrow.